From risingapple.com, 3 Mets prospect whose stock fell hard in 2023. But before we get into this video, I need you to hit that subscribe button so you can find out what's going on with the Mets prospects, their minor leagues, any kind of front office moves. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. We got 4,000 hours of view time on this channel now. So I need you to hit that subscribe button, share this video, let people know about this channel. This was a major surprise for myself that this channel would be making money, and it has made a couple of bucks here and there. So I want to get it completely monetized. Hit that sub button, and I tell you, I'll find every little bit of information I could possibly find on the New York Mets and their prospects. So here we go. It wasn't the 2023 season we had hoped to get from these 3 players. The 2023 season was a big one for New York Mets prospects. Guys like Christian Scott and Tyler Stewart rose up big time. The club adds some new major faces to the franchise with strong pedigrees already in tow. Now, everyone had reason to celebrate this past year. These 3 prospects in particular saw their stock fall big this past year. Number 1, Alex Ramirez. Ramirez found his way onto the 40-man roster before the November deadline to protect him from the Rule 5 draft. It was a curious move by the Mets, who may have assumed a team would select a 20-year-old outfielder and stash him on their bench for a year. Even if he wasn't ready to face Major League pitching, a team like the Kansas City Royals could easily benefit from having a speedy glove. They also would have the sort of patience it would take to have an unready youngster on the roster. A center fielder future candidate for the Mets, additions to the farm system plus a rough season in High A have put a damper on many of those expectations for Ramirez. After piecing together such a fun and successful 22 campaign, the 23 performance stung even harder. Ramirez slashed .221, .310, .317 this past season with Brooklyn. Drop from a .281, .346, .436 season with almost half of it also taking place in High A came as an unpleasant surprise for those who still believe Ramirez was on his way toward a Major League fast track. Put on the brakes. His stock is down right now. One bad year isn't going to necessarily brush Ramirez aside for good. He doesn't turn 21 until early next year. Adding him to the 40-man roster, however, does start a clock on him. Were the Mets playing defense with the move, or was it a vote of confidence he'll get back to hitting again? Number 2 on this list, right-handed pitcher Calvin Ziegler. Second-round pick of the Mets in 2021, Ziegler is starting to become a bit more forgotten. He went 0-6 with a 4.44 ERA in 2022 in his first 16 starts. This past year, he only tossed a single inning. Ziegler did strike out all 3 he faced, though. Ziegler wasn't so lucky outside of the one frame he tossed while recovering from elbow surgery, tore a quad. It erased any chance of him returning in 2023. The Mets have had some rotten luck when it comes to early draft picks. Matt Allan has pitched even less than Ziegler in his professional career. The first, and I would mention about Matt Allan, he was released. David Stearns released him. So he's not in the organization right now. The first and third round draft picks from 21 surrounding Ziegler have some curious stories too. This was the year the Mets and first round selection Kumar Rocker failed to come to an agreement. It looks to be the right choice with him suffering some health ailments as well. Third rounder Dominic Hamill has stayed healthy, yet he has slowly become more buried in the farm system. Ziegler was the lone high school draft pick made by the Mets in 2021, in the 2021 draft, which right now looks like a strangely successful one. Christian Scott came in the 5th round, and Mike Vasil getting taken in the 8th. Intriguing minor leaguers who had some solid seasons in 2023. Rowdy Jordan and Matt Rudick came to the club with the 11th and 13th pick, respectively. Then there was Nate Lavender taken in the 14th round. Poor health is what has knocked Ziegler's stock down. It's the one thing every good player needs to remain relevant. So far, he hasn't had it. And finally in this video, number 3, Kevin Parada. Kevin Parada didn't have the kind of season Mets fans were hoping for. As committed as most of us are to see Francisco Alvarez behind the plate in perpetuity, a big year from Parada would have been greatly appreciated in 2023. It's not what we got. Parada saw limited action in 22 with only 13 games logged. This past year, where he played mostly along Ramirez in Brooklyn, he combined it slash 248, 324, 428 with 14 homers. This includes a 185, 250, 389 stint with double A Binghamton, where he was greatly outmatched. He struck out 23 times in 60 plate appearances. Going down on strikes was a big issue for him. Unlike a few prospects such as Jet Williams, who was punched out plenty as well, Parada didn't have any other notable achievements to help him overcome it. Because it is the offseason, Parada has been what many consider a tradable asset for the Mets from the moment he was drafted. You're going to see his name plenty. Sadly, this asset just doesn't have the greatest value or at or behind the plate. He hasn't received rave reviews as a defensive player. Without a bat to make up for it, what team would even have much interest? Well, this is a very negative overview of his season. They say, who's going to want to trade for him? He's in his. I would mention that reading his scouting reports from college, this is Parada. Problem that he had last year, and really the last few years in Georgia Tech, was he had a very difficult time staying strong. Now, this year in 2023, this was the first year he played every day. So his body obviously broke down. Endurance seems to be a major problem with him. And hopefully he's able to sort of have a better offseason, be able to diet. He did not have a good Arizona Fall League because he went to Arizona to play against the other players. But he was considered a fall star, which means he was still very highly thought of there in the Arizona Fall League. But he's a guy to just keep an eye on. He's very young. I know he's coming out of college. But he has to find a way to raise his endurance, raise his level of being able to stay on the field and not break down and not get tired. That seems to be an issue with him. So I'm not nearly as down on him as this article puts out. He just was drafted. These other players have been in the organization for a few years, but Parada has not. And he's a catcher. So you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to Prospect Hut. Appreciate the time you take to watch, and I'll see you later.